Hi everyone, I'm Shannon and welcome to today's video. So I am so excited because the Disney Wish is coming, and we had that teaser not too long ago as far as the unveiling of all the different features that are going to be on the Disney Wish. So today I'm going to be doing my best and worst staterooms on the Disney Wish. Now this is going to be a little bit different because this is going to be a preliminary because the Disney Wish is not out yet. We don't know specifics. However, the deck plans are out, and I will be doing the same thing that I've done for the other Disney ships, the Magic, Wonder, Dream, and Fantasy, but they will probably, once the ship comes out and more information is revealed, I will probably redo this video. But I wanted to do a preliminary video because booking is either, I'm not sure if it's going to be open already by the time I post this, by the time I be able to post this, but I wanted to get something out to try and help everyone and kind of give you my advice, whether take it or leave it, as far as where I think might be the best best and worst staterooms on the Disney Wish. So I don't, right now, as I'm recording this, I don't have the list of staterooms. I will be recording the screen portion once I get that, and I will be going through like I normally do. So I will be breaking down those categories as I always do with the inside. So I'll start with the inside, move all the way up to the Royal Suite, but let's get into the best and worst staterooms on the brand new Disney Wish.
So before we get started, I wanted to take a look at the comparisons to the 4 existing Disney ships. And here we see the Magic and the Wonder. This would be the Magic class. And this is 875 staterooms and a gross tonnage. The Magic is 83, so just under 84 tons, and the Disney Wonder is just over 84 tons. Now the Disney Dream has 1,250 staterooms, and they are both just under 130 gross tons. So what we know about the Disney Wish is it has a number of 1,244 staterooms. So it actually has 6 less staterooms than the Dream and the Fantasy. However, it is going to have 144,000 gross tons. So it is I wouldn't say it's definitely considerably larger than the Magic and the Wonder, but it is a good, I would say, 15,000 tons more than the Dream and the Fantasy. So that's a decent size amount. However, they're not increasing the capacity as far as passenger capacity because it's actually going to have 4 less staterooms. So something to consider when booking the new Disney Wish. So Disney Cruise Line has not come out with an official color-coded deck plan. They did come out with a deck plan that is available on the Disney Cruise Line website. However, it just shows staterooms, but it doesn't show what categories each stateroom is in. However, the amazing person at Disney Cruise Line blog has come out with a color-coded estimation of what the categories should be. And this is based on his expertise and based on what I've done for my research on the other 4 ships. This is probably pretty accurate. Is it 100%? Probably not, but this is the best we have right now. I will come out with a updated video, but I did want to come out with something before the sales for the new Disney Wish come out. So let's start with the inside. And what we know for the inside cabins is that there's only 121, which is only 10% of the staterooms. So his estimation is that it's going to be 11A, 11B, and 11C, and 11C will be on deck 2. So let's go ahead and zoom in here, and these right here are what he is estimating them to be 11C. And this is why I think if you're going to book an inside stateroom, this is the category you want to book, and that is because the Disney's Oceaneers Club has been moved down to deck 2. On all 4 other ships, it has been on deck 5, but now it is on deck 2. as well as the It's a Small World nursery. And if you also look, they are squared, so they're probably small, but they are, sometimes with a squared shaped room, it just feels like a little bit of extra room. I personally like something a little bit more square shaped than rectangular. It just tends to feel a little bit more roomy, but there's really no way to tell, and we won't know for another year. But of these rooms, I would probably go with the one right here, which is 2623. It's kind of the singular. It's on the side angle. Those tend to have like a unique layout. But again, I love being on the same level as the Disney's Oceaneers Club. Also, if you are prone to having seasickness, being on the deck 2 is going to be very, very convenient. But this is what they are estimating to be the 11C category. Now let's look at the rest of the inside staterooms, and that is 11A and 11B. So of course, 11B is going to be on deck 6, and you can see there's a couple right here in the front, and they're pretty spaced out. So we have here, let's look. So we're going to look at deck 6, 7, and 8. So this is the forward of the ship. They're all toward the forward, and then not much in the middle. So obviously these on 8 are going to be very desirable because they're very much in the middle of the ship. So very, very central location. But let's go down to the back. And then you have just a couple right here. So nothing special, nothing really sticks out that they're going to be unique cabins, really just more of location. So if you're booking the 11B category, I would say this 8th deck, right here, this 8th deck right here is where you'd want to be because it's just very central. Now going to 11A, let's go up, and it's going to be decks 9, 10, and 11. And this is forward of the ship. So this is as forward as you're going to get. So 9,000 and 9,500 are as forward as you're going to get. And then the ones that stick out to me are on the 11th deck. And this is 11, 5, 11. So I don't know what that is. Looks like maybe a little hallway. I don't know. Could be, but if you have a young child, maybe one in a pack and play, you could probably put the pack and play in the hallway and give a little bit of privacy. And the same thing with this 11-529. That one looks to be, have a little hallway too. So that might give you a little extra room. And then another one that sticks out to me is this 9525. I don't know if it's going to be extra long but it appears to be in the photo. So that could be a special cabin. Again, we won't know for another year. But let's go back, and now we're going to move down. And again, this is in the middle of the ship. So these I would say avoid. While they're probably very central, if you look, what's right above it is the Mickey pool and the deck stage. So if there's a night show, and there's a stage show, and you have a little one going to sleep, you would be directly below the stage show. So these are cabins. I would say they look like they might be ideal, but I would say avoid. If you want it to be more central, then try and stay in with one of these on the 9th deck. Let's move down. And again, really nothing of them stands out. But, I think if you're inside cabin, any of these are going to be good. I would just say avoid these on the 10th deck because you'd be directly below the stage and the Mickey's pool. Now we're going to move on to the Oceanview staterooms. And again, there is only 170 Oceanview staterooms, which makes up 14% of the staterooms on the Disney Wish. So if you look here, the estimation here is that it's going to be 9A, 9B, 9C, and 9D. So we will start with 9D, which you will see will be on deck 6 and 7 and forward of the ship. So this is where I think is going to be the true value in Oceanview. So obviously 6006 and 6504 are going to be handicapped, so we won't consider those. But these right here tend to be if you go back to my other videos on the Magic and the Wonder and the Dream and the Fantasy, some of these in the forward tend to be very unique staterooms. So I think the 6500 looks looks unique. But the two that I am looking for if I were booking this category would be 7006 and 7504. They look to be on the corner. They probably have angles right here, but I think they're going to have a little bit of extra space. It's going to be an odd shaped room, and you're going to have an angle, but it's going to give you a little bit of extra space. Obviously, you're going to be all the way toward the front, but that's going to also give you some spectacular views. So if this is correct, and this is the 9D category, I would say that 7006 and 7504 are probably going to be some of your best values in the Oceanview stateroom category. And even if the category is incorrect, I would still look into these because these are not handicapped accessible and these are Oceanview. So they're going to be priced less, and I think they're going to be very, very desirable staterooms. And keeping in that same theme, this is estimated to be the 9C category. So again, we want to look at 8006 and 8504. These are going to be very similar to the ones on deck 7. They're going to have that corner stateroom, probably slanted walls, but I think they're going to be very highly desirable rooms, going to give you extra space, unique layouts, and I think these are rooms that are going to go fast because they don't have a veranda. They're going to be priced on a lower level, and I think these are staterooms that are going to be very, very desirable. But I think also if these are not available, so any of the ones on the corner are not available, I also think these are going to be very desirable because if you tell, they look like they're going to be a little bit longer. Obviously, I would try to go to the one in the middle, so 8,000, 7,000, 6,000. Those are the ones I would try to get because it's probably just going to give you a little extra space. But I think any of these will be very, very desirable. Again, we won't know for another year until the ship is released, but this is my best guess and based on the other ships. Okay, so now let's move on to the 9B category, and they are estimating that the ones on deck 2 are going to be 9B, which is consistent with which is what is on other ships. And honestly, the 9B category is highly, highly desirable, and that is because it is right next to the Oceaneers Club, right next to the Small World Nursery, and then also close to the Walt Disney Theater. So all the shows, you would have very, very easy access. So personally, I would probably try and choose one of these that is near these stairwells, so 2620, 2622, 2624, or even these on this side right here. Very, very desirable. That is 9B. Now, if you're looking at the 9A, it's this light, I guess, lime green, and I only see 4 estimated to be. So that is going to be these right here on deck 7 and 8, and that is 7008 and 7506, and then 8506 and 8008. So we don't know if this is consider, but this is only going to be 4 staterooms if he is correct. So this would be 9A. Honestly, if I were to choose, I would choose to be on deck 2, close to the Oceaneers Club and close to the theater. For me, as a family, as a mom, that would be more convenient than to be here with a regular standard stateroom. So it just depends on what works for your family. And to finish off the Oceanview stateroom category, let's look at 8C and 8B, and they're going to start on deck 6. So there's none that really stand out to me. So this would be 8C. They look pretty much standard size. Nothing stands out to me. I think it all depends on location. Obviously, if you need a handicapped accessible, there's a couple right here. And then you have, this would be the 8B, is this light pink right here. Again, nothing stands out to me as far as size, nothing unique. Again, if this is a category, honestly, if I was booking an Oceanview stateroom category, I would probably go for that 9B category on deck 2. If you had young kids or just children that were going to be using the Oceaneers Club, I think that's the category I would book and be on deck 2 just to be close to the Oceaneers Club. So now we're moving on to the veranda staterooms. And what we know is that there's going to be 877 veranda staterooms, which makes up 70% of the stateroom. So that is the majority of the ship. So we're going to start with 7A, and there's actually not a lot of 7A. No, 7A, if you're familiar with the other ships, 7A is kind of considered the Navigator's Veranda. And it's this pink. So this is what they are estimating to be the Navigator's, I guess, 7A category. And if you look here, it's going to be this pink one right here. Now, this is just a guess, so we still don't know if this is going to be accurate, but this is what they are guessing to be the Navigator. So again, nothing stands out, but if you wanted a Navigator's or if you wanted a veranda and you wanted to save a little money, then this is probably, now these are probably going to be a little smaller verandas, but probably not too much. I would try and get something a little bit more central. So maybe 9160, 9660 would probably be the best bet in this category because it's still under a a deck plan that has stateroom, so it would be relatively quiet. It's on the aft, but it's not so far in the aft, so it's a little central. But, that would probably be the best bet on the 7A, but nothing stands out in this specific category. So next up, we're going to look at 6B and 6A. And if you notice, the 6th category tends to be verandas that have somewhat of an obstructed view or a white wall veranda. So we would expect the same in the Disney Wish. So, and they tend to be on the aft, which is where the white wall verandas happen, which personally we loved. So this would estimate it to be the 6B category on deck 6 and on deck 7. Here you go, right here, these 8 right here. And then these 10 would be these orange ones. And honestly, the best bet in this 6A category are going to be 8192 and 8690. And that is because these look to have an extended veranda. They will likely be a white wall veranda, but we love having a veranda on the aft. There is nothing like watching the wake of the ship from your own personal balcony, and then you usually can have just an extended lounge chair. It's just really peaceful. And so if you are going to book this 6A category, and these are accurate, the two most desirable staterooms in this category are going to be 8192 and 8690. Okay, now we're moving on to the category 5, so 5A, 5B, and 5C. And if you see, we're going to start with the 5C category, which is just like denim blue, and then it's this tan and this orange. And it really goes by the deck. So 6 and 7 will have 5C. On decks 5B, decks 8 and 9 will be 5B, and decks 10 will be the 5A. So let's go ahead and look at, and there really doesn't appear to be any that stand out. However, there are a couple on this hub. So anything on this like outer, which is going to give you an extended balcony. So in the 5C category, what I would look at is 70-64 and 75-60, 60-64, 65-62, 60-82, 65-80, 70-82, 75-78. Those, and then also let's look here, 61-22, 66-22, 71-22, which looks like to be hearing aid. So that might not be bookable to the general public, but 76-18. And then we're going to look at 71-40, 76-36, 61-40, again, 66-40. Again, this looks like to be something of a handicapped accessible stateroom. And And that's it for those. Now, if you look here, these also tend to be, so these are all handicapped accessible. However, 6198 and 6698 are not handicapped accessible, but would have that extended veranda on the aft. So that would be a very desirable location as well. Now let's look at 5B, and it is going to be this brown, I guess like tan category. Now these on the back, on the aft, are all going to be handicapped accessible, so not bookable to the general public. Again, with the 9 on deck 9, those are also handicapped accessible. But let's look at the rest. So these right here are going to be pretty standard. Now let's look here. Now 8138, 8636, 9130, 9630. However, this one does seem to be handicapped accessible. These are going to appear to have extended balconies. Let's look up here. Now 8120, again, possibly handicapped accessible, but 8618. And then 9112, 9612, again, a little bit of an extended balcony. And now we'll look up here, 8080 and 8578, as well as 9070 and 9570. And then we're going to go back to 8062, 8560, 9052, 9552. Again, these appear to have extended balconies, and that appears to be it. So a lot of what appears to be the staterooms themselves appear to be normal size. However, it appears that some of these on the humps will have a little bit of an extended balcony, which is really nice. It just gives you a little bit of extra room on the balcony. Again, we don't know this for sure, but hopefully these will allow a little bit of extra room on the balcony. Now the category 5A is expected to be on this deck 10, and it is this one in this orange. So let's go ahead and look. And this is where I would say be wary of this category because, well, it is a desirable location because it's very central. However, now these I think are great because they're right below other staterooms. However, now 1046 and 10546 appear to have extended balconies. They're going to be just below public areas. So these could be very loud. We don't know what's going to be here yet. So these could be very loud areas. They may not be, but we just don't know. Again, with these are going to be right below the deck stage as well as the Mickey pool. So these are probably areas I would avoid, even though 10064 and 10564 appear to be rooms with extended verandas. Now let's move a little further down. 10106 and 10606. These are going to be, again, right below public areas. These may be loud, they may not be, but we just don't know because they'll be right below public areas. So I would be very wary. If you are a light sleeper, I would not book these locations. If you're someone who could sleep through a hurricane, book them because you're probably not going to, you'll get an extended veranda and you're not going to wake up anyway. And then we're going to look at 124, 1064, again, extended verandas, but below public areas. And that's it. So those are the areas. So again, these, I would be wary of the 5 area category because most of the staterooms in this category are going to be below public areas and you just don't know how loud these are going to be until the ship is launched. Okay, now we're going to go into the Deluxe Family Oceanview Stateroom with Veranda, which is 4A, 4B, 4C, and 4E. Now, if you've watched my other videos, specifically the ones on the Dream and the Fantasy, the 4E category has extended verandas. So that's what it appears to be on the Disney Wish. We do not know if this is going to have the capacity to sleep 5. We just don't know yet. But if you look on deck 6, you're going to see right here. So 6196, 6696, and 6,700. I'm going to say 6196 and 6696 if you are booking a non-concierge stateroom. These are going to be two of the most desirable staterooms on the Disney Wish. So 6196, 6696. Book them if you can. I would say 6,700 is probably going to be very desirable as well, but just not as, we had a stateroom on the deck 6 on the Magic with a huge aft veranda, and it was incredible. These I think are going to be just highly, highly desirable. Now we're going to move on to decks 9 and 10. And again, you're going to see 9182, 9184. These are going to be obviously very, very extended verandas, almost the size if you look on deck 10. So 10, 168 and 10, 170, 10, 668. These almost look to be as long as your stateroom. So almost probably the size of your stateroom will be your veranda. But honestly, I'm going to say the most desirable in this category, if these are correct, are going to be 6196 and 6696. And now we're going to look at the other three, which is 4C, 4B, and 4A. And as you can see, they're pretty much going to depend upon location. So obviously 4C is going to be on decks 6 and 7. 4B will be on decks 8 and 9. And then 4A will be on decks 10 and 11. So let's take a look at decks 6 and 7. This will be 4C, and it will be this gray. And again, these ones on the hump, obviously, as you see, so 60, 72, 60, 74, 70, 72, these are going to be desirable because they're going to have just a little bit extra. And this is going to be consistent across the board. Right here, these are pretty standard. So in the middle of the hump, you're going to have 6130, 6132, 6630, 6632. Same thing on this deck 7. You go a little bit longer. And then obviously those right there are going to be very, very central because they're going to be right near the staircase. So if you got, let's say 7130, super central, right next to the elevator, right next to the staircase, you got a hump, you got pretty much everything going for you. Now let's move on to the 4B category, which is going to be these pink staterooms right here. And let's see right here. Obviously you're going to be right next to the Fairy Tale Fresh Laundry. I've never heard laundry described that way, but only Disney could describe laundry as Fairy Tale Fresh. And let's see, you have 8070, 8072, 8568, and 8570. These are going to be on the hump with a little bit of an extended balcony, as well as 9060, 9062, 9560, 9562, again, extended. And let's look a little bit down. Obviously, you have a couple handicapped accessible if you needed them. And then a couple more in the hump, 9120, 9122, 9620, 9622, 8128, 8130, 8626, 8628, all appear to have extended balconies. And that appears to be it for the 4B category. Now let's look for the 4A. Now again, the 4A is going to be, now these right here that are going to be under public areas, I would avoid because again, we don't know how loud these are going to be. So even though 10, 1, 4, 14, 10, 6, 14 appear to have extended balconies, I would try to avoid these if I could, because if you move a little further up, you're going to have these right here. I don't know how loud these would be. These would probably be a little safer. So 1054. But if you were, I would go with the ones on deck 11. So if you're going to book the 4A category, I would try to go for the ones on deck 11 because you're going to be right underneath the concierge deck and you would be also on the pool deck. So honestly, that I think is an ideal deck. So deck 11 for 4A, if you're going to book a family Oceanview veranda stateroom, then book 4A because this is going to be very, very convenient. You'll be on the pool deck, but you're not going to have the inconvenience of having a public deck above you, because you'll have concierge staterooms right above you. Now, you won't have any unique staterooms as far as having an extended balcony, but knowing that you'll have a stateroom that's quiet and very easy accessible, I think will outweigh any advantage of having an accessible or larger balcony. Okay, so now we're moving on to the concierge level, and you'll see here we have a new category, and that is 3B, and that is Concierge Family Oceanview, and it is considered Little Mermaid, and these are panoramic floor-to-ceiling windows. There's only 7 of them. They are on deck 11, and these I think are going to be highly desirable staterooms. Again, there's only 7 of them. Obviously, the most popular is going to be 11006, because as you can see, it is a corner stateroom. It is probably going to have just a lot of space, as well as some spectacular views. And I think the stateroom that will be the second most popular will be 1100, which will have direct views. Now, my understanding is that this is the bridge. I could be wrong, but my understanding is that this is the bridge, and that these staterooms right here are going to give you a view of pretty much what the bridge gives you. So obviously 11504 is going to be handicapped accessible, but 1106 is not. And then these rooms right here, so they're going to be a little bit larger, have spectacular views. So honestly, if I were trying to book a concierge stateroom, I would totally try to get 11006. I think that's just going to be a spectacular stateroom. Now, looking on to 3A, which is the standard family veranda stateroom that is concierge. It is this hot pink. And again, 1202 and 12502 are going to have that extended balcony. They're also going to be right next to the concierge lounge. Very, very convenient. You can see here, nothing really stands out. Again, I would always try to avoid the ones right in the end, especially this is right next to the restroom, though I don't think it's probably going to be too bad, but it is close to the elevator. But these are usually not too bad because the elevators are on this side, so it's usually pretty quiet. Now, if you go to deck 13, obviously 13028 is going to be handicapped accessible, but it does look to be extra large. But again, nothing really stands out. There's nothing on a bump. I think they're just pretty standard. So if you're going to book 3A and you want a veranda, then I would try and get 1202 or 12502. But honestly, if I was booking a veranda, I would probably go for the Oceanview category and really try to get 11006 or 1100. Okay, so now we're going to look at the concierge 1-bedroom suites with verandas, and let's look at the 2Bs first, and they are going to be on decks 12 and 13. And again, these are pretty standard. I don't see anything that stands out to me. The ones I would probably try and get are 12004 or 12506, because this has a little bit of an extended, but again, I think it's just more the proximity to the concierge lounge. But really nothing really stands out to me. Now, if you go to the 2A, it looks to be that it is the concierge 1-bedroom suite with extended balcony, and that is going to be on deck 12, and that is 1200 and 12500. And again, if you are booking a 1-bedroom, these are the 2 staterooms I would try and get. I would really try and get this category. Obviously there's only 2 of them, but this is going to give you a spectacular veranda really close to the concierge lounge. I think this is just going to give you just a spectacular staterooms. I cannot wait to see these staterooms in person. Well, probably not in person. For me, it'll probably just be in pictures, but I think these are going to be spectacular staterooms. So if you are able to book a 1-bedroom, I would book 1200 or 12500. And now we are at our last category, which is the category of 1. So we have 1A, 1B, and 1C. And one of the things we do know is that there is going to be 4 royal suites on the Disney Wish. So let's start with the 1C category, and they are estimating that they're going to be on deck 10, which is going to be further away from the Concierge. However, they're going to be extremely large. I mean, so this is going to be handicapped accessible. So this is 10116 and 10666. Now, obviously, it's going to be very far away from the Concierge Lounge and the Sun Deck. However, you're going to have this really huge veranda right on the aft. Personally, I think I would probably choose that. Now let's go to the other two, the 1B. They are going to be on deck 13, right next to the Concierge Lounge and pool. So it looks like the Concierge guests will have their own pool. And this is staterooms 1300 and 13500. So again, we'll have a really nice stateroom, nice veranda, and that is going to be category 1B. Now, what we don't see here is category 1A. As you can see, it is this bright yellow, but I do not see it. So it looks like Disney is probably saving that. We don't know where it's going to be. I believe it is going to be a 2-story suite, but we don't know where it's going to be. It's going to be something very unique to the Disney Wish, but I think if you are probably able to book that stateroom, you are not watching this video. So there you have it. Those are my best and worst staterooms on the new Disney Wish. And as you can see, there are no worst staterooms. It's pretty much good, better, and best staterooms on the Disney Wish. I want to thank Disney Cruise Line blog for allowing me to use their guesstimate of the deck plans for the Disney Wish. So obviously this is unofficial. We do not know if this is accurate, but this is the best guess. We do know the stateroom numbers are correct. So if you are looking to book, definitely use those numbers. The categories could be correct. They may or may not be, but that should give you a general idea. Hopefully this video was helpful. I will update this video as new information becomes available on the Disney Wish. And happy sailing and happy booking, everyone.
So there you have it. Those are my best and worst staterooms on the Disney Wish. Now, again, this is guesses. Like, these are, I don't even know if they're educated guesses. They're just guesses. But based on the deck plans, what we know as far as the other ships, kind of the layout, these are some things that you want to consider as far as when you're looking for a specific stateroom and the different categories. So keep that in mind. I also highly recommend consulting with a travel agent. You know, I have booked cruises on Disney Cruise Line and on Royal Caribbean. Now, Royal Caribbean, I've booked on my own. I know Royal Caribbean ships in and out. I'm diamond status. It's great. With Disney, there's so many ins and outs with Disney. There's so many different booking categories, and you know, you can book your dining and events and character meets and whatever there is at certain levels. So you really need a Disney travel agent that's going to help you with that. When we booked the Magic, I did book through my regular travel agent, but that person didn't have good advice on Disney. They had been on a Disney cruise, but they didn't really have any good advice. And I was finding out information on my own, and I had to search for it. And honestly, it was a pain in the butt. So get a really good Disney cruise specific travel agent that will help you. I know Touring Plans has one. There's also, they have an travel agency now. There's Dreams Unlimited Travel. There's Christy from DCL Podcast. She is a travel agent. I think she's Pack Your Pixie Dust on Instagram. So there's a lot of good travel agents out there, but get one that's Disney cruise specific or has a really good knowledge, because they are going to help you. Again, I hope you like this video. I will update it as we get more information on the Disney Wish, but I did want to get a initial video out there to try and help anybody that might be booking an initial cruise. So if you like this video, click like, click and subscribe. That way you get a notification every time I post a new video. Bye everyone.